the channel, folks. We're getting started on a new project here. This one is going to be a name sign for a child's room. It's going to be in the shape of an excavator. As you know, I do the carbon paper transfer method. I'm going to go ahead and show a little bit of this on camera for those of you that may not have seen it yet or are kind of curious about it. As you see, I've got the layout printed out here, got it taped together. I've got the carbon paper laid out underneath here, and I just trace over the image and transfer it to the wood with the carbon paper, and we'll get started. Okay, get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to finish the rest of this off camera, and when we come back, I'll show you the finished transferred image. Okay, we've got the transfer complete. I've already removed the carbon paper, and we'll show you what this looks like. Here's what we're looking like on the layout. All right. Going to pause this for a minute, get set up, and get ready to start carving. Okay, we've got the router set up now. We're going to be starting out with the profile bit. Got it set at about 1/8 of an inch deep to start out with. Going to start carving out the name here, William. And we'll get started. Alright, we've got the name outlined here. I want to finish this section off camera, and then we'll be back with the next scene. Alright folks, I've got the name carved out, the background cleaned out. I used the 1/8 inch straight bit to clean out around the name here. I went ahead with the profile bit and cut the vent slots out here as well. Now we're going to start with these circle joint areas here that represent the moving mechanisms of the excavator. I'm going to be using the carving liner for these, so we'll get started. Okay, we've got those done now, and we'll get ready for the next steps. Okay folks, we've got it cut out. I used a combination of the jigsaw and the scroll saw to cut the pattern out, as well as cut the windows and doors and around the mechanics of the excavator. We're going to get ready and start masking some things off and get ready to start the painting process. So we'll be back. Okay folks, I went ahead and masked off the track and the name. So that's going to be a different color. The majority of the excavator is going to be yellow, except for the cab area, the smokestack, and the vents, and a few other little things. We're going to do some different colors to add some detail. I'm using the Valspar Project Perfect paint for the majority of the yellow. So we'll get started. Alright folks, we're back. We'll get ready to start with the painting of the sign here. As you can see, I've got the base coat of the yellow down. If you noticed in the previous scene, I had the track area taped off, and due to the customer's request of the color that they wanted the letters painted in, I changed the idea of how I was going to paint the track area. So we now have that painted yellow as well. So we'll get started with the painting. I'm going to be painting the name black. And again, that's per the customer's request. And again, I'm using the Apple Barn acrylic paints, thinned a little bit with water to give it a little bit more even coverage. And most likely I'll have to do a couple, 3 coats. Okay, you get the idea of what I'm doing here. I'm going to go ahead and do the first coat of the name off camera, finish that up, and we'll be back. Okay folks, we're back. We've got the painting completed now. I didn't want to bore you with all the painting on this. You've seen me do that in previous videos. I wanted to get to this point here. We're going to do something a little bit different. In the window area, we're going to do a resin inlay. So we're going to get ready and do that. I've already got the tape put on the back side of it. Got everything sealed off so the resin don't seep out behind it. And we'll get started. I'm using a Summer Box epoxy resin. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm going to mix up 2 ounces to get started here. So of course with a 1-to-1 ratio, it's going to be 1 ounce of the epoxy resin and 1 ounce of the hardener. Okay, there's the epoxy resin. Now we're going to add in the hardener. Okay. Now per the directions, we're supposed to mix this for 3 to 5 minutes. Mix it thoroughly. So we'll get started doing that. Go in different directions, make sure I scrape the bottom. Make sure I get it thoroughly mixed. Okay, we've been mixing for 3 or 4 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and add the color additive. This is a micro powder. It's aqua blue. I just want to give a slight blue tint to the glass area of the excavator. Got my spoon here. Dip some out. Okay. We'll mix this up and see what it looks like. Make sure we get this mixed in thoroughly as well. And we'll finish mixing this up off camera. When we come back, we'll get ready to start pouring. Alright folks, we've got it mixed up here. We're going to start pouring in the epoxy. And this is a self-leveling epoxy. We've got this window poured. I'm going to do the other one off camera. And when we come back, the epoxy will have cured and we'll have the final product for you. We'll be back. Alright folks, we've got the excavator sign finished. Got the clear coat on. I use a Minwax polyacrylic. Applied it with the critter gun like you've seen me do in other videos. I went ahead and applied the hanging hardware. I used the D-ring hangers on this one as well. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video. It was a very fun build. And again, first time doing the epoxy resin inlay that I did on the windows. I'd like to invite everybody that hasn't to subscribe to my channel. If you like the content, also hit that like button and the bell icon. Please share with your family and friends, as that also helps the algorithms in YouTube. And I appreciate everybody's support thus far. Questions, comments, and suggestions are always welcome. And we'll see you in the next video.